up, everyone? We're going to do something a little bit different today. It's a hell of a lot cleaner, but it's a hell of a lot more of a pain in the ass. And what that is carpeting the back of the car. I told you guys before, I don't like that tin look, that 80s tin look where everything's sheet metal inside the car. It's going to be bright as hell, and it's going to be like an oven in there in the summer. I'm not saying this is going to make it cooler, but it's going to make it less reflective. So I went on to eBay, and I bought something called Ozite carpet. O-Z-I-T-E. And this is a small section of it. It's a nice black carpet. I don't know if I can really catch it. It's not double-sided. It's got like, there's no backing, but this is the side you put down. And it's a very nice looking carpet. Really inexpensive. I bought 2 yards, which looks like this. And I want to say that was 35 bucks shipped to my door, and it's way more than I'll need. That's 2 yards. 2 yards. Way more than I need. But I'd rather have the extra in case I mess up in a small area. And I'm going to mess this up. You got to go around the cage in 6 different spots. I got to go around wheel tubs. It's a big pain in the butt. I've already started on it, and I will show you guys where I'm at now. But it is not easy, but you don't need much. A really good razor knife and a really good pair of scissors and some flashlights if you're working in your car. And that's pretty much all I've used on it so far. And spray glue. Spray glue. Where did I put my spray glue? A can of this. It's high temp engine compartment adhesive spray. This might be a little extreme for what I'm using it for, but all in all, it's all the same. Temperatures will hold up to temperatures up to 200 degrees, intermittently up to 240. A contact adhesive designed for bonding vinyl tops, heavyweight headliners, and hood silencer pads where high strength and heat resistance are needed. So this you're going to want to spray on both sides. Spray it on the metal, spray it on the back of the carpet. Don't soak this. You don't want this, because if you soak it, it'll soak through the carpet and you'll see it on the other side and it'll just look horrid. So, I mean, shake this up good and you'll see how the consistency is. You can get a 3M makes a good spray that you get at Lowe's, Home Depot, hardware stores, stuff like that. Hardware stores, stuff like that. But I got this, so that's what we'll be using. I'm going to show you where we're at so far with it. This is where we're at. I've started cutting it. I started placing it already. Oh, it's just trying to resume. I don't know why the camera's doing this. But you can see how much extra I have down here. And I'm going to cut that back 3 feet. You can see I'm cutting it around the bars. None of this is glued down yet. It's just all pushed down. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 around the wheel tubs and up on here. The good thing about this stuff is when you cut it, you can get it to blend really good back together once you go to glue it down, so it's not as noticeable. I'm gonna have, I still gotta trim it, you can see. I'm gonna have the windows tinted in the car, not crazy dark, not drug dealer dark, but like 30%, 25%, so you won't even really see it. You're not even gonna see this. It's fairly easy to work with. It's kind of a pain in the ass for the simple fact is you're tight closed area, you're wrapped around bars, you're in the jungle gym, and it gets freaking hot in there. What I'm gonna do now is I got this thing pretty much cut out to shape around the tubs and everything. What I'm gonna do now is glue down this back piece. It still needs to be trimmed. You could see where it still needs to be trimmed around the window. I'm gonna trim that up a little bit, and then I'm going to spray glue everything and get this whole back piece glued down, and this way I won't keep tugging when I'm working on the bottom part. started this was I took the whole big piece and I flopped it up in here and I got it even with these bars. And what I did was I just put 2 slits where they belong. I mean, it wasn't really like a measured out thing, because I knew there was so much overlay where it didn't have to be centered on the carpet and I would be cutting a lot of it off. So I just got it up and I just cut it and slid it in, and you know, I made a little half circle on one side and a half circle on the other side, and just started trimming from there and kept trimming it back, and obviously you can still see trimming it some more. It's not perfect, but it don't look half bad. Little fuck up right there, but you won't see it with the tint. Okay, now that you got the deck done, oh, dog was trying to come in and lay down. You got to start working on the back. I cut the tubs off just because it was being too much of a pain in the butt to get this to all fold in all the different directions. So now, oh, my dog. See what I gotta deal with when she's down here, wants to be a helper. Just lick my face. All right, baby girl. You gotta get out. Come on. Nope. Okay, so what I ended up doing was cutting that carpet right at the bottom of the bars. Damn, why is this messing up? About the focusing issue that the camera seems to be having in the car here. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this up, glue underneath it so it's done. And I have a ton of carpet left here that I'm now going to pull out, and I'm probably going to section it in half right on the tunnel and do one side and then the tubs, just because this is too much of a pain in the ass with the cage in here. To make this, try to make this a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to take some measurements from inside the car on how much, you know, I need left. I'm going to cut it out there. You know, I'll leave some extra and just make it a little wider. It's a real pain in the ass to go around the cages and all the contours and everything. What I think I'm going to do with this piece is, it's obviously wider and, you know, it's just a square. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it's even side to side. I'm going to glue down the center of it and just work my way out, and, you know, glue down a little more, glue down a little more, cut around things and just keep gluing down. And this will be that center section that's missing, and then I'll do the tub separate. We'll see how it turns out. If it turns out shitty, I'll have a template at least. This is a real giant pain in the ass. I'd rather do the mini tubs over again than this shit. I got half of that glued down. Now I gotta do the other half. I am not gonna bore you guys with that side. I'm just gonna cut it off, and we'll pick back up when it's all done. Alright, all done in there. That job officially sucked. There's no other way to put it, but that job sucked. I think I'd rather do the mini tubs over again than do that again. That, is it perfect? No, it's far from it. But it's a good thing it's black. I will be tinting the windows like 30%, and I still have to put a water tank back there, probably a fire extinguisher back there. That'll be coming later when I do an in-car fire system. So you really won't see the flaws in it unless you're really looking for it. I know they're there. You guys know they're there now, but it doesn't look terrible. If you're a perfectionist, you better buy like 5 yards of that crap. I bought 2. There's a decent amount left over, but if you're a perfectionist, you're going to want to tear it out and redo it again. That sucked, but it's done finally. Now that the firewall's in and it's all carpeted, I really hope it cuts down a lot of that tinging, tinny noise that I had in the car on the first test drive. I know it's a race car, people harp on me for the noise, but I do want to drive this car every day, and the more stuff I can do to it to make it more enjoyable, the more I'll drive it. Because if I don't, put a 25.3 in the car and just turn it a full-blown drag car, and that's not what I want. So hopefully that deadens the noise a lot a bit. I'm also going to put an AEM 400 external pump on the car. I'm going to leave my 4303, put an external pump. I have dual outlets on my tank, and I'll check valve it into the main line to run around on street duty. And hopefully my buddy's doing that on his car shortly, so I'll see how quiet it is and if it's worth doing. But let me show you guys. It's all said and done. I know the camera sucks trying to be inside this car. My little helper here, she just wants to go upstairs now. You could see how many cuts I've made. A lot of trimming. So it looks great on the video. I got to loom over the wires right there. Can't see them. Yeah, I got to loom those. I got to clean the plastics up some and touch them up a little bit and screw them all in. Now that it's all done, oh, the glare kills it. But now I can get this window tinted and get it installed. I'm going to take that rear window to a shop, have it tinted, because there ain't no way in hell a tint guy is going to want to climb over that whole cage to do that back window. It's just going to be too much of a nightmare. Sorry. So I'll do it while it's out. Once it's tinted, I'm having Pitbull Auto Glass come over. He's going to put in glue the rear window in, and he did my front windshield. I have to remind him to bring the glass buffer, as there was a couple scratches in the glass. There's like 2 little scratches, and I make him buff those out, or have him buff those out, have him buff those out. It'll be glued in, and once the car's driving and everything, I'm going to take it to get the rest of the windows tinted. I won't do the windshield like a lot of people do. I don't like that. I just put tinted headlights in the car, which I got a while ago. I kind of like them. I think they look pretty badass, but we'll see how well I like them at night. On to another segment of the car. My front brakes should be here any day now, so I can get those assembled and get them onto the car and make this thing a roller again. I ordered 1 piece of tube I needed for the turbo kit. Still waiting on the turbo mount and the turbo flange, but I'm going to start building the hot side this week. I think this week if I have time. At least I'll get it going in the right direction. Like always, guys, get in the garage, grab a cold beer, cold drink, water, whatever you fancy, grab a wrench, start working on your hot rod. Have a good night, guys.